Solomon sat on the bench for the very first time this season, midweek against Marumo Gallants, earning his first minutes of the campaign. So keep an eye on him and how he does at right back this afternoon. Futa challenging for the ball. Man born in Wish in Angola. Got the assist, brilliant assist for Julio in that first leg. Did Mafuta.
It also showed their aerial prowess as well.
I speak about the fact that both of these teams are present in the preliminary rounds of the CAF Confederation Cup, having won their national cup. For KAIZER, the first time that they had ever won the national cup in Angola, their 31-year history for Kaizer Chiefs, ending a long trophy drought stretching 10 years. Although they are very successful in the national cup and cup competitions in general, it had been some time since they had tasted any success, but that's how they find themselves here, competing in the second year of CAF's inter-club competitions.
Back of your mind, do you imagine the previous coach of Chiefs now watching this?
Well, he was well primed to lead the side in these matches ahead of their game against Skukuni United. Perhaps a little ill-advisedly, they had gone to Angola to watch KAIZER play in their Super Cup against Petro Atletico, winners of the league last season. The side have won it 4 times in succession now, and picking up some key elements of the team, and then left days after the defeat to Skukuni United. So it was the 2 coaches on the bench today, Khalil Ben Yusuf and Cedric Kaizer, who did travel with the side, who were in the dugouts for the first leg.
So that analysis, you must have handed it over to the guys that have taken it over, because they've got up to actually watch it. It's an interesting one, but Chiefs being at home, of course the fans have got high expectations, and they can't sit back. They've got to come up and take the initiatives. But you're talking about a team that already, when you look at their structure, that defense is loaded. They're sticking with 4 at some point. They have about 5 at the back.
Yeah. Well, their home record of late, having started well this season, hasn't been particularly good with the defeats that they suffered against Skukuni United and the draw against Marumo Gallants last time out. Brad Cross retaining his place, played as part of a back 3 against Marumo Gallants midweek. Seka Marco on the left-hand flank as the left fullback. He's out injured today. And they've reverted to a more familiar back 4 for this afternoon's match. Cross to Non Hobo. Back into the team because Billy Hobo. The man is an orchestrator, can pull the strings on his day. You just worry about maybe a little lack of mobility in the midfield for Chiefs, although Hobo in particular take on real grinders.
Well, Mtakla is more of a grinder for me, but you talk about this young man, Hobo. He's supposed to be the creative man in terms of passes. You've got your Pulemodis in terms of the speed. He needs to be able to supply them. He's not going to win the aerial battles because it's going to be very tough for you. But he should play to his strength, which is ball distribution, and sometimes you've got to be a few steps ahead of your opponent to try and avoid that. One man who was quite good at this sort of situations, may soul rest in peace, of course, that's Sheikh Skuman. He would read the game. Wasn't the quickest in terms of running, but he was sharp in terms of decision making and touches as well.
Does Mobo have that center of gravity, that same center of gravity?
I think he
does
has.
anyone?
For me, when I look at him, he resembles a Shakes, but he needs to be Shakes when I look at arrogant with his approach. And he needs to have someone telling him that, listen, just express yourself, play with some arrogance.
He's definitely trying to bring a little more physicality and aggression to his game. Mobo has struggled with injuries over the years. He has been actively working with supplementary sessions just to improve his physique and muscularity. Make sure that it's not just the slick passes, the beautiful touches he's bringing to the midfield, that he is bringing a slightly more robust approach.
Is it relevant to his game? Because I'm thinking those that have been privileged to have, the Premier membership, Busquets did not need that.
That's true.
Iniesta did not need that.
But then again, as someone who is well versed in these kind of things, Brian, injury prevention often comes with working on your muscularity and your physicality. So I think that has been a huge thing for Mobo, especially all the struggles he's had, groin, hamstring, etc., etc.
Those are key things they go to strengthen, of course. But we don't expect you to have this big body, because that sort of makes it difficult for you. And Lionel Messi, based on his frame, he's quite quick in terms of how he approaches. Like I said, Shakes was never the quickest player, but he was the quickest passer of the ball because of how he was thinking ahead a lot of times. And I think for me, he's got that potential on a good day to be able to be that kind of player.
Peterson working it out to Quinica. Peterson hasn't kept a clean sheet in his last 3 games, having opened the season with 5 in succession. Oh, there's a lovely little turn from Dushabalala, and they'll come back for the initial foul, the tug on his shirt.
More of that, it's good for Chiefs. Playing to his strength. Quick thinking, quick skill. Catch me if you can.
Dushabalala has restored his hair to non-bleached style. Had been sporting a fairly extravagant do for the last couple of games. Ball in from Mobo. Oh, it's a lovely take. Breakcross stretching for that, almost gets a toe on it.
Inviting, delightful delivery. Nightmare for defenders to clear. When it is played in that sort of area, just needed a touch. Just a touch.
It appeared as though Miguel opted out of actually going for that, believing that a corner would come. It is a goal kick, delivered upfield by Anselmo Mbala. The pace of Solomons. Now they will get the corner.
Talk about accepting yourself. They know what they're up against. They've got a deficit. They've got to approach this with a positive attitude, attack more. He is quick. This is the delivery we're talking about. It is such a nightmare, I tell you. When Cross tries to connect with that, that's what you needed to do. Unlucky.
Swinging delivery, still not cleared by Cover Scorp. Eventually they get it away here. Ball nicely retrieved by Ashley Dupria. Now the race on between Solomons and Denny.
It's been a good start for Chiefs. Now they've got to continue with that. They can't drop. You can tell the Cover Scorp. First priority, let's not concede early. Let's stay tight from defense into midfield.
Kaizer Chiefs in CAF interclub competitions over the years have never overturned a deficit in the preliminary rounds. When losing in the first leg, there's been 7 instances where they have gone behind in the first leg and been incapable of coming back. So they could make a little of club history today if indeed they're able to win and progress. There's only one scoreline that would necessitate penalty kicks, and that's a 1-0 win for Kaizer Chiefs. Remember, no extra time in the preliminary rounds of CAF interclub competitions. There's nice movements on and off the ball. And it's worked in by Lilepo. This is Nuno for Kabusko. Gets it back, one of the players who's introduced to the starting 11 for this game. Ball slid through excellently. Worked out to Lissandro. Has a go from quite some distance out. The 22-year-old who came through Petro Atletico's youth stint.
Good movement, good rotation of the ball, well set up. What was needed here is to at least hit the target. But it's interesting how they had moved and almost dismantled that Chiefs defense. They had about 3 players following on the left-hand side. There were spaces on the right-hand side, so it means one of the left attackers needs to draw back a little bit to help out the defense, because it sort of misaligns the team in terms of when you're defending.
Cushion down for Mobile by Miguel. This is Situkwanika. Took a horrible elbow to the face from Sorse Lukasa. The man was set off late on in that first leg time. First season for him at Kabuskop, so not a particularly good start for Sorse with his new club.
Now let me let you in into a conversation with players. Situations like this, that's happening. You sometimes have to intimidate the opponent. Emil Beckles, a little bit of the late Mark Batchelor was good at that.
On the overlap again is Solomons. The ball across is really well cut out. Miguel looking to justify his inclusion today. Now turned up for Lilepo. Chiefs getting forward with frequency.
As a player that has come in, Chiefs made such a huge impact, particularly on the right-hand side. The options that he provides, good skill set, potential goal scorer as well. Cuts from the right-hand side, good supply for him.
Lilepo was sacrificed for the previous league match against Marumo Gallants as Kaizer Chiefs gave Kanye Samayo his debut. The man is on loan from Siad Bouzida in Algeria. Scored on debut, only to see his, that lead wiped out late on by Jason Clifford at the FNB Stadium as Ulimori goes on a little foray forward. Oh, what a save from Mbana. Absolutely excellent goalkeeping.
Excellent goalkeeping, but superb skill set by this young man. Traditionally, we have expected him to go down the line. No, he's right-footed, he cuts inside. It's very awkward for defenders. Nice little 1-2s, gets it on target. Dupree combining well with him. That's a good move.
In from Mobo. Held this time by visiting Kabusko.
Now, what will work for Chiefs, you look at the physical makeup of the Chiefs players. Short but quick. That can work. The upper case, tall frame players, played quick, little short passes. It unlocks the defense.
onto it brilliantly, riding a few challenges and then winning the free kick. Dangerous player, Mafuta. Recently got a call up to the national team. More on that after a quick look at this moment. Modi coming close.
So close. Well worked. Nice little 1-2s. It works. They were pulling matches. That's going to happen.
Still looking for his first of the season is Pulim. We see some good signs out of Mafuta that he might be the main man for Kabuskop this afternoon, especially if they don't see all too much of the ball. His ability to actually play alone, if need be, could be very valuable to them this afternoon. I was saying that he's full of confidence, having recently got a call up. It was for the African Nations Championship Chan tournament for locally based players. For the national team for the very first time.
They've got to keep it tight, they've got something to defend, they've got a lead to defend. So keeping it tight, they can't be adventurous in the first 25 minutes of the first half. Keep it tight, pounce at the right moments. The honors, of course, is with Chiefs, so we've seen the nice little short passing combination play. And played with speed, and how they can unlock the defense.
Turn of the millennium, Kaizer Chiefs in the 2000 CAF Cup, playing the second round against Tanga Rangers of Zambia, lost 2-0 at home in the first leg, couldn't overturn that deficit in the second. 0-0 was the scoreline, and they crashed out in the preliminary rounds, and since then there have been 6 further instances where Chiefs have not been able to overturn a first leg deficit across various CAF inter-club competitions. Next instance coming in 2005 in the Champions League, as they exchange passes neatly here. That cross has come sliding in rather dangerously, it appears, with Desandro down.
Very skillful player, he'll be targeted, very sharp takeoff, of course. No way, he had to commit to a takeoff.
Then he's so good, Kahua.
One of the 4 changes made for this match. December coming in. So right back in 2005, CAF Champions League, second round, Esperance thrashing Chiefs 4-0 in Tunisia. Chiefs actually won the second leg. It's the only time across those 7 instances I've mentioned where they actually won the second leg, but it wasn't enough. A 2-1 win, resulting in a 5-1 aggregate loss. Then the 2014 Champions League, going down to Vita Club, DRC, 3-0 in the first round. They won 2-0 in that second leg. Well, another instance like against Esperance, where they actually won the second leg, but still out on aggregate. They dropped down into the Confederation Cup, which is no longer a rule that's implemented nowadays. So in 2014, they got another opportunity, went down to, I think, Mimosas of Cote d'Ivoire, 2-1 in the first leg, and then lost 1-0 in the second game. Going out, failing to overturn the deficit, as Beto voices his displeasure here. A 58-year-old born in Sao Paulo. Did have a playing career of his own. He was a defender, but never really played for any of the big teams and clubs in Brazil, and quite a few in Spain. He played in China. coach where he's enjoyed more successes. Ashley Dupree whips it across. Very similar to the cross that Mafuta put in, which resulted in Cabo scores a goal a week ago.
It's a very tricky cross for defenders to deal with. One, if your positioning is not so aligned, then you can tell the frustration. There was hope and anticipation that something is going to happen because it's such an inviting cross, particularly because it's an entry. You know, when you attack it, it's so easy.
Here come the visiting side once again. Sandro can't successfully locate Benny.
Now you can tell the game plan. We're talking 33 minutes into the game. You just drop that intensity that we saw in the first 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah,
It's to be expected. Now that allows the opponents to be able to control it for themselves and have more of the ball. There's no pressure on the ball as frequent as it was in the first 15 minutes of the game.
past the midway point of this first half, it's still Pulimori's attempt. It was tipped around the post by Mbala. The best moment of the game for either side. And forward a little aimlessly by Brad Cross, picked up by Matsolo Mbala Mwini, 26-year-old. Got good height about him as well, stands just over 190 centimeters tall. Competing with the Brazilian Evandro Rashoni for that starting berth. It's now third game in succession that Mbala has started after Rashoni started in the Super Cup again. They lost 3-1 against Petro. Shabalala. Miguel. This is Cross. Short on options.
Yeah, you're right. I was about to pick up on that because earlier on, they were the ones that were taking more of the initiative. There's a bit of a frustration now because they're not finding those, gaps.
He therefore has Solomon on his outside. Noble coming to receive. Shabalala was under too much pressure to successfully control there.
This team
Zamorano.
only studied Shabalala.
Latch on to this one here, the fullback. Nuno. Lisandro.
Such an intelligent player, One of those that reads the game so well.
That's what he did.
27 years of age now. A yellow card happened a little earlier on, in fact. Bianchi. We're just talking about Nuno, a man who will celebrate his 28th birthday next month, born in Lubango in Angola. And hasn't got much of a look in this season. Played against Petro de Luanda in the Super Cup. They didn't feature in the league game. First season at Cabo for Nuno. Many years at Desportivo Villa. Corner taking shots. Mafuta. Headed away by Ted. Nuno again. Miguel.
Yes, maybe.
Only as far as Lisandro forces the corner.
When you get to the
They're gaining traction. They are the ones that are forcing Chiefs to go into the defensive mode. They're a threat in terms of set pieces, but then again, in terms of knocking the ball around in the Chiefs' half, getting better and better and very assertive.
How conceding at home would be absolutely disastrous in the context. Red Cross getting his head on that, but it's not fully cleared. Now there's an opportunity on the break. But a pass for Shabala is slightly overcooked, and Zamorana able to shield it out. Zamorana Lopez, who turned 24 last month. Right back, who likes to get up and down the flank.
Yeah, full of mobility and defensive qualities are good as well in terms of recovery.
Solomon's on the cover. Bread cross.
You know, there's a car that shoots gets positioned on it, it's called cross as well, right?
Nacho Miguel, Liam Golden. Against the team from his homeland.
Who have been a key man to advise you what to expect.
That certainly was the case ahead of the first leg. Yes. Momo loses out. Don't really have any numbers forward. Everyone inside their own half, from a sort of perspective.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned it in action, because if you look at his play, how he was aggressive when he got here, and it actually tells you in terms of how was play, because they're very physical of the approach.
Well, Julio Matondo had been standing by for quite some time, the man who came on and scored with his first touch in the first leg, and he's coming on for Benny. Sacrificed 30 minutes into this time.
I wonder, is it tactical or something? It's not right.
So, from KSCP in DRC, who is enjoying his first season, a couple of goals having been signed from fellow Angolan side South Salvador, beginning of the season. Scored 3 goals for them in the previous campaign. Ball given away rather cheaply. Mobo looking for options. And his ball does go all the way through here. Has the pace to just about keep it in, Bulimori.
I didn't think he would get to the end of that ball, but he was quick. Quick. William Body, right footed, can be tricky. By the fullback. Ability to carry inside. Yeah, kick off is good. Good call.
Almost take. Shabalala was looking to help it on at the near post. There's a call for handball. Across. Over. Solomon's now. Decent cross from Dylan Solomons. John here, scuffed effort. Oh, and put over by Cross, who claims his shot was deflected away from goal.
Sustained pressure. It's good for Chiefs. Ball rotated, played into the danger areas, desperate defending, persistent play, unlucky cross. It's the ball.
And a stooping header from Ali Boyle. Unbelievable defending to get that away. 25-year-old centre back. Wonderful cross from Dylan Solomons.
Delightful. So inviting. Is it a head injury? What is it? It's always been difficult to diagnose a player. Hold his ankle. Those are the dignitaries. The gentleman at the top back there. As for Mike Nkuna, he's part of the board. Directors as Kaizer Chiefs.
The overcast day in Gauteng, but actually wonderful conditions for football. I was up in the stands enjoying. There's another look from at Andy Boyle's intervention. He was also the man to try and impede Brad Cross as he sought to score from close range.
The fans are happy, hopeful as well.
Like this one is also last
They continue to believe. Because we can't blame them, the Women's Cup. Believe it's much, the volume of excitement and believe is much higher now.
The surface that these two sides are playing on is absolutely magnificent. We've reached the time of year in South Africa where the grass is getting enough sun. It's an absolute carpet out there. It was actually relayed in anticipation of this season. A new grass that hasn't really been used in South Africa ever before, Fescu. Combination of that and rye, as well as 25% synthetic grass, just to kind of hold it all together. Some of that grass actually intertwines itself with the synthetic grass to hold the turf together, and you can see the result.
It is us telling the viewers that you and I had a workshop with, with Mr. Berti.
Yes.
And he's telling us about how long it took. Day and night they had a target to really, and to talk about stitching. They have to stitch. Never had a,
There's
never
the word
had
I was looking for. Yeah.
stitching. The grass. Looking good.
Yeah.
Great.
World-class surface to match a world-class venue as Kaizer Chiefs engage from the set piece, look to make something happen. Tekwa helps it back into the area. And once again, ball nodded sideways by Nilepo. Hopefully, didn't appear to be anyone in particular. Looking fresh, Ushabalala. Bleached hair is gone.
If he wants to be in conversation with Dr. Kumar, moments like this require someone to take responsibility, liven up the situation, and that's what you need. And I think he's got the ability to be able to do that. Very skillful player.
Takes the ball away, but keep it in play. Ashley Dupree. He's yet to have his big moment. Almost 40 minutes into this match. They touched on 4 of these 7 instances where they couldn't overturn a deficit as the continues to stride forward, but he's overplayed it. So I've looked at 2000s defeated Changa Rangers, 2005 going down to Esperance, Vita Club in 2014, ASIC Mimosas the same year as we get another look at what was maybe a fairly unselfish, or rather selfish moment from Lilepo. So three other instances, Brian. In 2015, Raja Casablanca were 1-0 up after the first leg. Chiefs couldn't overturn that deficit. They lost 2-0 in the second leg. That was in the Champions League preliminary stages. The following year, down again to ASIC Mimosas, 1-0, and then it was actually a home defeat. And then away, it was 0-0. And the ball slipped through. Sets himself. Side netting, many in the stadium. Should have gone in.
It's the pass that makes it happen for me. It starts there. It's a pinpoint, well-timed pass. The intelligence of this young man. Look at that. He's done everything. That's a sitter. He looks up, but then again it's the technique. You don't play it onto the near post. You play it onto the far side. Should be staying safe, but it's a good move. More of that could benefit Chiefs.
Hands on the head of Zuli, is the goalkeeper coach for Kaizer Chiefs. One of the most animated figures you're ever likely to see on a touchline anywhere across the planet. There's Pulimori. Offsides. The ball's in the back of the net, the flag had long since been raised against Ashley Dupria. Squared it superbly for Pulimori to tuck away, but
it's just a question of timing the run and having yourself.
Really
Definitely offside. Talk about coaches and tempo. And for me, just right. What shit that you got? You just have to be strong. But then after the game, it's all hugs, the passion of the game.
Teto wins it clean. Kunika.
Build a reputation of being Mr. Reliable. Take him to the midfield wise, he'll perform for you. Take him center back, full back, he'll perform for you.
Yell. Nicely done, and the shot from range turned away. And then the follow-up is in. Kaizer Chiefs level on aggregates. As this time, Lilepo gets it right.
Yes, it is Kaizer Chiefs. The fans are celebrating. And they're saying the business is not over yet. But it has been coming, it has been promising, and this man has been threatening. It pays off in the end. Lilepo doesn't disappoint. Of course his strength is more on that right hand side. Look at the run that he makes. Bounces on an era that the goalkeeper should never do. William Shogo will tell you, you don't play back into play onto the side, more onto the side. And he was quick to react, Lilepo. Switched on, in fact, the three players. And he was the one that gets their best, and he gets that goal. Well deserved.
Very similar position to where his earlier chance had come.
Yeah.
This time he gets it right. He goes across the goalkeeper, and huge credit as well to Dylan Solomons, who had picked up the ball in midfield, cracked a tremendous shot at Mother's goal. You're right, he didn't palm it far enough to the sides, but it's not as if he palmed it straight back into play. He was at least attempting to get it to the sides. A really neat finish from Tony Lilepo from a fairly difficult angle.
A friend of mine has just sent me a WhatsApp to say, you are there, make Chiefs win.
Well, let's talk about, again, we'll hop on it as much as time permits, the potential history on the line. could overturn a deficit, a first leg deficit, for the very first time in interclub competitions. The last match, that's the only one we haven't touched on, is the 2018-19 Confederations Cup in the second round. We're down to Zesco United 3-1 after the first leg. After the second leg, 2-1 for 5-2 aggregate defeats, and that completes the picture. If you've been with us since the beginning of the game, we've touched on 7 different, dating back all the way to the turn of the millennium, 2007 different times that Kaizer Chiefs have gone behind in the first leg and not been able to recover. There has never been an where they've been able to overturn a deficit. There have been times, 2 occasions, where they have won in the second leg, but it wasn't enough.
The mentality, it's the belief, it's the attitude of the players, and I think they look switched on.
But the potential of an away goal still hangs over them.
It does.
If Kaizer were to score, Kaizer Chiefs would have to respond to 2 goals. So in fact, the dynamic doesn't really change now for Kaizer if Kaizer Chiefs were to score. So they can actually throw a bit of caution to the wind, because there is absolutely no difference from a Kaizer perspective in drawing this game 1-1 or losing 2-1. Both results send them through. So what does that do for the players' mentality? Because now they know that they can concede a game just as long as they score.
If you're Chiefs, you're going to continue to believe. But then again, Kaizer, there's a bit of a caution. You know, once you start conceding, there's a bit of caution in terms of how we approach things. And based on having scored, there's a bit of a safety net that you build for yourself as well.
Ball thumped clear by Adiboyo. One from Lisandro. Already down. Fairly heavy challenge from Zamorano.
These
Into
are
the referee's book.
intimidation tactics. Having put under pressure, Chiefs are in control of the situation. They bring back numbers into their own half to try and defend and try and stop Chiefs. And this sort of interruptions lead to, of course, it's not way. It's against them. It's a foul in your own half. You're still putting yourself under pressure. He's been on fire on this left-hand side, pulling Modi.
Decent claim by Bala. Confirmation of Zamorano's yellow cards. His first season at Skaboskova, joining from Desportivo Huila. He spent the last 4 seasons right back. He's got some defensive work to do here. The goal scorer, Dilepo, squares it. Oh, they've come ever so close to grabbing a second goal here, Kaizer Chiefs. Going ahead on aggregates. Desperate defending from the visiting side. They're able to scramble it clear.
Now they're trying to drop the tempo. Their away Chiefs was to up the tempo, and they have been doing that since they've scored.
So Kaizer Chiefs with the only goal of this first half, and we are 3/4 of the way through the tie. The man from DRC, Dilepo, having netted his first goal of the season in Kaizer Chiefs' very first game from the penalty spot against Stellenbosch. Is on the score sheet this afternoon with a really fine finish, and he's very close to setting up Abdu Shabalala here for a second in the closing stages of this second period is evenly poised now. 1-1 on aggregates, but the game remains incredibly intriguing with another 45 minutes to play. Kabelskop could score an away goal and really set the cat amongst the pigeons here. But for now, Kaizer Chiefs, who many expected to do the job at home, have been able to restore parity on aggregate ahead on the day. It's a rather despondent Kabelskop team who trudge off here at the Calabash with Kaizer Chiefs leading by 1-0.
Now let me tell you about your personal best. It's the things you do when no one's watching. The tiny steps you take that add up every